If you find yourself truly resonating with what you've discovered so far on this site about the teachings, then there are two possible paths that you can travel. The first is what I call the Phase 2 teachings, and the second is what I call the Phase 3 teachings. So again, if you are truly resonating with what you've discovered about the teachings so far, then now is the time when you have a decision to make. And let me just explain a couple things about what I mean by that, and also about the two paths that I just suggested on the previous slide. In playing the role of teacher and coach, just to use those labels, my style, my journey as it has unfolded has been there, done that, experienced it to a very deep level personally, then pop up, do a debrief. And the debrief may be, a book or an event or a multimedia creation or whatever, and then pop back down, explore myself, do whatever else, I'm doing in terms of my own search for truth, whatever you want to call it. And then pop back up and do another debrief when I have something significant to say. But it's always based on my deep, consistent personal experience and knowing of all of the ins and outs of the journey. As a result, I have a very strong bias towards the journey that I took and what got me into Phase 3 and into, lack of a better term, this extraordinary place that I live and play and explore and express myself creatively within. So my journey was to use a specific set of, I call them drilling tools, in order to, as I explained, drill tunnels through the cloud cover, poke holes, widen the holes, knock out chunks, and I used a particular group of teachings and tools to do an awful lot of that, to do some very, very deep and profound work in the cloud cover, and to poke a lot of holes, knock out a lot of chunks, but there was still big chunks of the cloud cover in place. And then on my journey, it shifted at that point. And I was shown, I discovered, appeared, another set of teachings that for my unique journey supported me in knocking out the rest of the cloud cover, and being able to finally play in the sunshine. And so the Phase 2 teachings, the ones that I used to knock out so much of the cloud cover, are what I call the Phase 2 teachings. And then what I used at the end to knock out the rest of the cloud cover and begin to actually play myself in Phase 3 are what I call the Phase 3 teachings. And on this site, you will see that there are different resources, be they books, be they home study systems, be they online courses, that reveal these two different paths. Now, I can't say, honestly, that you got to follow the path that I traveled in order to get into Phase 3, because I'm aware of the fact that I have a bias, and that's what's my journey, and there isn't one way to do anything. And so I've continued to offer both paths on the website, although theoretically I could have gotten rid of all those Phase 2 teachings and said, hey, just go into the Phase 3 teachings, knock out all the cloud cover, in a big burst, or have the opportunity to, and just offer that. What came through me, so to speak, was to make both paths available, and then invite people who find their way here to make a decision based on what they resonate with. And my belief, just to call it that, is, my story is, that if either of these paths that are available on this site in my sphere of influence are right for you, either right now or at some other point in the future, you'll know that, number one. And if my paths are not the best path for you to get where you came here to go, then you'll know that too. And then in terms of which path, the Phase 2 path or the Phase 3 path, you'll know that too. And I can tell you again that I traveled the path of doing the Phase 2 teachings for multiple years, the Phase 2 tools for multiple years, then moved into the Phase 3 teachings that finished up the work, so to speak, in the cloud cover, and then boom, there I was in Phase 3. So I trust that you will know what the best choice is for you. And in that process, there may be a lot of noise in your head, as I call it, a lot of thoughts swirling, a lot of questions, perhaps a lot of doubt, skepticism, whatever, a lot of noise swirling, ideas, concepts, thoughts, thinking, logic, whatever, swirling. So what I'm fond of saying is, for so much of my life in phase 1 and even to a point in phase 2, I tried to run everything through here. Thinking, logic, analysis, due diligence, intellect. And ultimately, as you'll discover, if you do find your way going on one or both of the paths that I offer here, is that ultimately this can't get you where you want to go. It just can't. Impossible, for reasons that are too long to go into right now. And what I invite people to do throughout my sphere of influence at every decision point is, the way I language it is, I invite you to move the decision from here to here. And when I say move it to here, this is symbolic of the heart, and I don't necessarily mean specifically the heart, but I mean move it into feeling. And if there is this pull, this impulse, this tug that you feel that says, I want to do this, and I want to do this path of the ones that are available, then I invite you to do it. Even if there's a bunch of intellectual noise and questions and other stuff swirling up in here, if here it's clear, there's the pull, then I invite you to do it with whatever option you then feel pulled to pursue. And there are many that you'll see that are available. And if you don't feel that pull, even if intellectually all of this seems very cool, very intriguing, very interesting, very whatever, and up here it seems like, wow, this sounds like it'd be great and I ought to do it, but you don't feel the pull here, it's just an intellectual idea concept thing, then again, I invite you to pass, because neither path is probably the correct one for you. So I invite you to move the decision from here to here as to whether to participate in anything that I have to offer and which of the options. All right, let's take a quick look here at the Phase 2 teachings. And beneath this video, on this page, you'll find links that you can click on to get more information about all these things that I just introduce here in this video. There are the following books that you will see available that you can get an in-depth familiarity with the Phase 2 teachings: Busting Loose from the Money Game and Busting Loose from the Business Game. These two books have similar content in them, but they are created for different audiences. If you are a player of what I call the business game, as an employee or an owner, then perhaps the Business Game book will be more supportive for you, whereas Money Game is more generic about using money as an opportunity to open into a direct knowing and a direct experience of truth, but without a specific focus on business. There are also the following two courses that are available, and again, you can get more information on these courses through links below. The first is the Masters of Light online course, and the second is the Journey to the Infinite experience, which has two options. One, you can receive a package that has DVDs and CDs and hard copy, so to speak, and there's also an online version. In terms of the options for Phase 3 teachings, once again, there's a book that's called Being in Truth, and there is a hardcover and an ebook available. At some point, a paperback will be available as well. And there is also what I call the Being in Truth experience, which is a 24-week online multimedia experience. Now, as you continue to explore this site, if you do, you will have a lot of additional, I call it raw material, to put into your incubator in order to then see how do you feel and which of the options or which option do you feel strongly motivated to do. So that's what I invite you to do at this point. There's a couple of choices that you'll see beneath this video screen. One will be links to various places within what I call the online store, which will give you options to take a look at what are the various multimedia resources, books, home study courses, online courses that are available to help you travel the two paths. And that's immediately below. You'll see a button that'll take you just back into the store in general, and you can explore whatever. Or there will be specific links in the form of images or text links or both to take you back to specific things, the online courses in particular, that my bias is have the greatest opportunity to create lasting, permanent transformation, impact, change, and knockout cloud cover for you. And then beneath that, you'll also see a form that you can fill out and click on Submit, and you can register to what I call Go Deeper. And if you register, you'll join an email list. You will not be spammed. You will not be solicited for 20 zillion things, either in my sphere of influence or in anyone else's. It will only give you emails that will give you the opportunity to experience additional videos like these that'll take you deeper into the teachings, questions and answers and such. And you may not need any of that because you may already be feeling a pull. There may be some other things, and it would be supportive to go more deeply and to be exposed to more videos like this, to put a little bit more meat on the bones or whatever of what I've covered so far on the teachings page. And again, from this moment on, the options that are beneath, clicking back into the store, clicking into what I call the guided tours for the online courses, registering for that list to go deeper, or all of the above at different times or whatever. Again, I'm going to trust that you'll self-sort yourself based on your own, let's call it inner guidance, higher knowing, whatever you want to call it. Will self-sort yourself into the various options that are available here. And so on that note, I will close this first block of videos in the series that I've called a Spiritual Teaching for Modern Times. And I will invite you, as I mentioned one last time, to follow what you feel motivated to do, either in moving down this page or in going back up to the buttons and the navigation links at the top and continuing exploring the various resources that are available on this site in any way that you may feel moved to. And also, of course, if you click above, there is a button that says Contact Us. There is also a green button that you'll see on the side of your browser that says Help, and you can click on that to send an email to the office. The contact page has phone number and email and address, and if there's any way that we can be of support to you as you make your decision, answer questions, guide you through the website, whatever it might be, we're here to help. So I thank you for your time, your energy, your investment in going through these videos and whatever you've looked at on the site before that. And I'll look forward to our paths crossing again at some point if they do, and in various ways, shapes, and forms if they do. And on that note, I'll say bye-bye for now. And you're invited to explore the rest of this site and what's available in my sphere of influence whenever and however you feel moved to. Bye-bye for now.